This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so we'll continue recording. So where are we last? We last at CPU heatsink, frequent restart, and in a laptop how to maintain this thing. So then we'll see that one. We've seen here. We'll go with first 32-bit and 64-bit difference. It's a frequent another question usually asked, but otherwise we have to know about other things also. So before going to 32-bit and things, okay. So first, simple. What is this 32-bit and 64-bit? The instruction in a 32-bit is 32-bit CPU. The instruction length is 32-bit. Okay, instruction length is a 32-bit CPU is 32-bit. The length of the instruction is 32-bit. Instruction length in a 64-bit PCU is 64-bit. The length of the instruction, like if you take a character, the character contains a certain length, right? So like a at least 8 bytes of each character is there. It means like you are writing a code, or maybe there is an instruction, your algorithm you are written. So if each instruction size is 64, means it's a very big instruction you are giving. Means high complex instructions we can able to give to our CPU if it is a high bit value. Okay, so if you are going with the lower, means for example, if you remember 8085 or 8086, those are 16-bit processors. We give an instruction, we cannot give instruction now like a virtual machines and all these things we can't run. We have to give a move a comma b kind of stuff only. We can't give instructions as a normal regular CPU at currently we are using. Okay, so each length of instruction means a complex instructions we can able to give if higher bit value. Okay, so that is another one. So we'll go to that, what is the complex instructions and all. So first of all, from Intel, the first processor is 4-bit processor, name is 4004. 4-bit processor is introduced. So later it is changed to 8-bit, 8008 and 8080. So it is keep on going on, and 8085 is a processor. Now it is we in engineering we done practice on it. Another processor is 8086 processor. After 8086 processor, 8086 processor having a certain things inside because of certain features of 8086 compared to 8085. So there are a much better. So still we are using a same model only from Intel. What are the processor we are using it? Number of transistors are increased, number of processor handling, number of cores are introduced into the thing. But so 8086 as a more still the base architecture of 8086 still we are using it, even though it is 8086 16-bit, but same thing we are implemented and we are using. So 80186, 80286, 80386 processor is there, 486, 805, 86. Then Intel release a Pentium 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. And 4 extreme processor is also there. So 4 different processors, the 4 two processors are there. Pentium 4 extreme processor is there. Celeron Celeron processor, like that, Celeron D processor, Celeron 1, Celeron 2, Celeron 3, like that. It is a different processor. Now i3, i5, i7 processors are there. Dual core, core to zero, lot of processors are there. Okay, so you want to know these is things like, if you watch a not a web series, it is a serial only, very old one, Friends. The guy, one guy is always carrying a laptop. Okay, Chandler, but got a new laptop from the office. He will explain this is what processor he is using, 808, a 586, something around 12 MB RAM, 12 MB RAM that time. Now we are getting 12 GB RAMs, 16 GB, 32 GB RAMs, but that time that is a very high RAM in that conditions. Okay, so the architectural differences from 8085 to 866, still we are continuing it. That's why still if you are using an Intel x86 it is showing. So normally it has become x86 architecture Intel processor we are using. So if you are using um, 86 means Intel, then it is tell like a x86. Okay, if you are using a AMD, then it will tell it's AMD processor only. And most of these are 32-bit processor earlier. So obviously we are habituated to say if it is a 32-bit, then we are telling it is x86. X86 means Intel 32-bit processor. And AMD mostly build 64-bit process only. AMD 32-bit is also there, but that is a very less, but mostly 64. So whenever a 64-bit processor or maybe a 64-bit application operating system, you can also see it's AMD 64. It represents 64-bit. And a different way of representing 32-bit and 64 bits are there. So we'll see how they will represent this 32-bit and 64-bit also. Okay, so for example, if you are using a 32-bit, so Intel wise it is a 64, or they will write it is a 32-bit only. In some places it is showing like a operating system wise. If you are downloading old operating system like XP 2003 2000 or 32-bit Linux, it shows like 386 or I586. If you see these things, it is a 32-bit only. Whether it is 32-bit they will tell, or maybe x86 or I386 or I586, it meaning is it is 32-bit only. Okay, and if you are using a 64-bit, so representation of 64-bit x86 underscore 64, it means it's a Intel 64-bit. It is Intel 64-bit. They write directly 64-bit or AMD 64. Okay, so this is like become a habitual, like a calling some names, like like we call everybody as an engineer, like some people who do work, engineers, technicians. So it has become a habitual names. We are into the place, right? So they like that. So 32-bit representing like mostly Intel is a more popular in the market. So that too, a longer period of time there are manufacturing 32-bit processor. So automatically any application operating system, if you see that's x86 represent it is a 32-bit. If it is showing also it represent it is a Intel compatible one, or they will write 32-bit, or maybe I386 or I586 also it represent it is Intel 32-bit, works on Intel 32-bit only. Okay, so of course they will sometimes it will work on a AMD processor also. That's the different one. AMD 32. If you are using AMD 32, maybe those things also work. Next level, if we are using downloading or applications like a 64-bit application you are downloading, so it may be the name it is like a 64-bit or AMD 64 or x86 underscore 64 or x64. So they how to mention it is better to reduce the characteristics, they put a x64 also. So if you see x64 means it's not a x64 type of processor, it is 64-bit processor only. Of course x32 is also very less. X32 they, no one will use x32 kind of stuff. Okay, so this is the first one thing. Next, compatibilities. Okay, this is way of representation. Compatibilities. If your CPU is a 32-bit CPU, if your CPU is a 32-bit CPU, means your operating system must be 32-bit. Your drivers, device drivers, must be 32-bit. So no change in that one. Okay, and your applications. If you are using an application, that must be 32-bit. 16-bit applications also works. 16-bit application also works, but 64 won't work. 64-bit won't work here. 16-bit we can put it, but we'll try to put it 32-bit applications only, not 16-bit. But still, it supports 16-bit with a supporting application called WoW32. What is this WoW32? Means WoW32 means Windows 16 on Windows 32, because 16 is a lower bit instruction and data set, so then obviously you cannot run on a 32 because 32 don't understand 16. So WoW will help you to run on it. Okay, so this WoW will run. Just for example, MS SQL is a 16-bit MS SQL. Okay, you install Microsoft SQL 16-bit. You try to install in 32-bit on Windows. 32-bit you are try to install. So what happened? It makes system slower. Okay, it may install, but once it is installed, your system become very slow, very slow. Okay, so what we have to do? So we have to go to my MS SQL, not my SQL, MS SQL server. Okay, WoW package. You have to download WoW 32 package and install the WoW 32 application. So then it works smoother. So this is what WoW means. So what is a WoW? So when you are using a lower bit on the higher bit system, okay, so obviously we need a WoW to work on it. Next, yeah, ask me, no problem. What happened? So all these things I'm telling in a this WoW kind of stuff, 16-bit kind of stuff here, and here 32-bit. I'm telling in a Windows manner only. In a Linux, if your Linux is 64, compulsory everything is 64 only. 32-bit Linux applications won't work in 64-bit system. So that is, be careful with that one. Okay. Hmm. Next here, 64-bit compulsory 64. The driver 64. Application must be 64. And you can use 32-bit running applications also. We can able to run on a 64. But older operating systems like a Windows XP, Windows XP kind of operating system, we need old operating system like Windows XP or Windows XP 64, compulsory 64. So that is Windows XP 64 or 2003 64. 64-bit editions also there. But this time, if you are using an application, everything should be 64. Your application must be 64. But if you are using 32-bit application, then you must use WoW 64. Just same as a above. Same as a above. Like same thing. MS SQL 32-bit. You try to install on a 2003 or a XB, you want to install it, then you need a WoW 64-bit package you have to install on it. But if you are using latest one, means Windows 7, 8, Vista is also there, but I'm not writing that one now. So Vista is also included. These are things in a 64 operating system, 64-bit PCs. It includes WoW. It comes with a WoW service. This comes with a directly WoW. So you don't need to, if you are try to install 32-bit application or a 64-bit application, both runs very smoothly because these operating systems comes with a WoW kind of stuff. If you install 32-bit, it understand how to deal with a 32-bit application. If you install 64-bit, it understand how to deal with an application. So automatically WoW is there. So that application wise, only at application wise, you can use 64 or 32. Both will run smoothly. If you install application 64-bit in this Windows 7, Windows type kind of stuff, it go to C colon by directly. So generally program files. If you install an application 32 bit program files, anyone want to add something here? x86. Okay. So if you are installing a 32-bit application, then the application is going to program files x86. If you are installing 64-bit application, it generally go to program files only. Of course, there is a different locations also there based on the system. Okay, so app data, some local roaming profile, different user profile only. It is also loading. So nowadays it is difficult to find where your application is there. So be careful while you are installing application. Where is the location of application is also there. So now it is storing in AppData folder. So when we are discussing about Windows, not required. I will show you now only. This PC. This is my C drive. See program files thing. This is program data. See, this is program data. It is also store some programs. This program data. Next, if you go to the users, you can see these things like a public kind of stuff. Also, it will store sometimes in public. This is my user. So here, the data related also it is storing. Somewhere it is. Where is this app data? Yeah, here it is. App data. It is also store some applications. In this location also it stores sometimes applications. It's a purely under our location only. So this part only. In this one, local roaming and all is there. Usually it is in a local only, so better go to the local. Okay, this is a one of the location. So where nowadays in a Windows 10, Windows 8 storing an application, and another one is program data. So this is directly in C drive. Here also certain programs are storing, so data of programming like that. So when you are using an application, the if you play a game, or maybe if you are you open a MS Office and you created a document, if you want to save, what is the default location of these saved games, or maybe a document related one, where it is showed default location? Anyone?
The C drive folder. It's program data, I guess.
Yes. Document folder. File location is document. Generally, now we are not storing into the documents. Okay, so it's generally it is going into documents. So where is my documents kind of stuff? I'm in my profile only, right? So this is a download a desktop. This is documents. Okay. So what are you usually like? You created a file and you want to save it. The default location it shows as a documents. If you download something from the internet, then it shows as a um, download folder. So here you can see desktop. Anything you save on a your desktop, this is the folder. Documents, this is the folder. Downloads, if you download anything, you created a picture or you download a picture. The default location is the picture. So these are all folders is under a user only. So you can go to the C drive, users, and go to your username. What are you find here? So this is your profile data. So this is the documents, download, desktop, contacts, okay, music, pictures. So these are locations. It is saved under your your username only. Check it in your physical machine also. Okay, systems. Okay, the data stores application related data. Sometimes it is storing in a different places like a program data about including program and a program's data also. Also, it will stores in a app data also there. This is the general location, and now like this. So this is a for awareness. Okay. So this is about compatibilities of 32-bit and 64-bit and wow. Now we'll go to the features of 64-bit. Okay, so what is the features of 64-bit over a 32-bit? Over 32-bit or a difference between 32-bit and 64-bit. So like that we can tell. So one we can able to tell like a compatibilities, wow, operating systems, current versions are like that. Okay, in 64-bit, okay, virtualization virtualization hardware wise CPU virtualization support is there. Okay, so 64-bit virtualization mainly it is support for a 64-bit virtualization. So virtualization is there. 1 second guys. Nothing, it's a spam call. Okay, next if virtualization support, then it is support other things also. UEFI. What is a UEFI? BIOS other format like a BIOS updated version is a UEFI. UEFI support is there. Through UEFI, we can get a secure board. This feature also will work. Okay, this secure board you will also will get it. Next, 64-bit UEFI virtualization support is there. Um, we can run big applications, or we can say heavy applications. Okay, so like a heavy applications or big applications, big instructions are there. So of instruction length of instructions is 64-bit. It means you can go for that one. Next, other now it is not a future. Okay, it is not a future, but there is a requirement is there. It means more RAM requirement compared to 32-bit. More RAM size is required, at least double the RAM. Means if you want a Windows 10 32-bit, 1 GB minimum requirement. 64-bit Windows 10, 2 GB is requirement. So like more RAM requirement. Okay, because of it is a big lengthy process. Okay, so okay, more RAM requirement, more disk space requirement. Okay, to store the program, to run the program, to store. Okay, so we, we need a more RAM requirement is there. But main important features are a 32-bit, so virtualization support, UEFI secure boot. Okay, and one more is there, that is called a drivers signature, digital signature. Okay, digital signature compulsory. Six means man, the mandatory. It is a mandatory card, compulsory driver signature. Microsoft should be signature is a compulsory one. Okay, so this is the basic features, and also we can go through difference between 32-bit, 64-bit in so we can get it. Okay, so virtualization support, UEFI, driver signatures, and big applications. We can heavy applications also we can run because it can able to handle big instructions. Okay, next more RAM requirement is there, and of course more disk space is also required, and applications are heavy. Okay, coming to normal in computer processors, 64-bit is a higher one, and mostly we are using 64-bit. Okay, next current servers in Microsoft servers. So I put a Windows servers 2008 R2, 2012 2012 R2 are next all are 64-bit only. Okay, are 64-bit only. It means better to use 64-bit. Okay, 64-bit only. So if you take Linux, any edition like CentOS or anything, any enterprise Linux, any enterprise Linux like a 7, 8. Okay, so currently we have a enterprise Linux 7, enterprise Linux 8, Red Hat enterprise Linux. Okay, so en 6 having a 32-bit, 64 6 is there, but now 7 and 8 is a compulsory, 64-bit only. As I know, no 32-bit. So as your available operating system and applications and features like virtualization kind of stuff, Docker related things only works in 64-bit only. Your Docker runs in a 64 compulsory 64. Of course, there is a different servers, virtualization servers also there, like vSphere, VMware, vSphere, Proximox, all these things, type 1 virtualization. So compulsory 64 with the virtualization support. So that's the main target. Okay, so this is the advantages or features or some information about your 64. Okay, any doubts here? No one is telling anything. Doubts? No doubts.
Okay.
No doubts. Okay. Read it today. Okay, why? Because keep reading and try to first read it and tell like a you are telling an answer yourself only. First present, this is a first day for us, so what you will do, so tell yourself like a you are telling an answer. So now some of you are trying to tell an answer, but the mic and the internet issue, audio is not clear between you and me. Okay, but still try to tell yourself like a you're telling an answer. All these are questions only. So this is a, what is the futures of 6432-bit. You can include this point, you can add some more points, you can also add these points as a future. Okay, try to explain it. Or anything what the question wise, like this is a question. So question wise, just anything is a question, just try to tell yourself only. My suggestion is, every system, like we are all using Windows system only, so we have a recorder. The voice recorder, video recorders are there. So voice recorder is there compulsory. This is the voice recorder. So open the voice recorder, tell yourself an answer, and listen to yourself only. So that is quite easy. Then you will understand any issues with the mic or internet, and also, and how is your voice. We are very good at, first of all, we are Indians, so that is main positive point, is because what is our flaw is our positive thing. So as I said in a morning, better to keep in a meeting at least not all 34 people in a one single meeting. Some are cooperate, some are not, may not cooperate, right? People who are interested, forget about other people who are joined or not. People are having a lot of other things, so don't worry. So at least the people who are interested are a close range people. Okay, interested people, close range people, put one meeting and try to tell a question and answering. Then what happened, whenever you tell an answer, there is a lot of flaws in that one, there is a lot of issues are there. Immediately one of you will tell directly, uh, this is the wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is you are telling like this. Then we can able to correct it and we try to present it as a normal. Why I'm telling you Indians are, we are, because of we are Indians, that is the greatness is, we never see, we cannot find our faults in ourselves. That is very difficult. Okay, mainly any human being, whatever they do, even it is, they know it is a wrong, but still it is a right, right? So for me, I don't know what is my flaw. Even I send these initially, why I put these videos into the YouTube and recording this thing. So main part is, so someone has to listen, and if they understand, because complete out of people, not only students, my father or a sister and anybody or a lecturers, if they understand, or maybe if there is any issues while I'm teaching my language, or my pronunciation, anything, if they give any feedback, either positive or negative feedbacks, so I can correct it and I can implement it. So that is why I usually mean regarding these things, not getting a popular or other things. Other hand is helping you to check it videos when you lost the class, or maybe you missed the point. Okay, so that is important. Okay, so my point is here, that is like, I think got the point. Record yourself first of all. Try today. Okay. So after one or two classes, then start a meeting with at least four members, five members. Yourself, you can put a one half an hour, at least half an hour. Start discussing about the topic and get a lot of different questions. Try to answer it. When someone is giving an answer, other keep their mouth shut, and then after completion of answer, you can tell what is the problem in that one. So we have to cooperate each other to become much better. Okay, so everybody has somewhere good, and somewhere there is a flaw, there is a issue. Some are very good at technology, but at the time of interview, or at time of telling something, the nervousness is there. It's a common thing, is the nervousness. Language skills, presentation skills, confused while you are telling an answer, confusion while you are telling. Lecture is easy, so I told one point here, one point here, and I combine points to one here to here. Lecturing is easy, so we have to cover the points, that's it. But thing is what you are understanding based on that questions, and try to tell the way you are. And immediate another question, for example, you are telling difference between 32-bit and 64-bit, and someone asks what is UEFI. You tell answer UEFI future in a 64-bit kind of stuff. What is UEFI? Definitely. You told UFI is there. You told virtualization is there. You tell the driver's signature. Then definitely what is UEFI? So definitely you have to search, and you know then how to present it, how to connect one question to another question, one question to another question. That question lead to another question. Okay, so that will give a more practice, more into the subject that we lost in academies, guys. So this is not an academies. Academies, whatever it is, academy that is completed. Now it is a time to explore yourself. We watching 1 second. So little bit diverse. So one more important is a commonly
This
people are
conference
asking.
will now be recorded.
Okay. Common question they are asking frequently about 8085 and 8086. Okay, so go to Google, put it 8086 versus 8085. Tutorial points. I will share this link also. Compulsory go through it, make a point. So irrespective of what branch you are belongs to it, but there are commonly, I think they are asking for a this is a few points compulsory. Check out. I will explain it if in case if you forget this one. Okay, so this is the difference between 8085 and 8086. Microcontroller, microprocessor, something is given. So this is we have to remove this one. MPU, microprocessor unit. Microcontroller, microprocessor are there, but these are microprocessor only. 8085 is a 8-bit processor and it is produced by Intel, and this is 8086 is a 16-bit processor, and let us some difference between two is there. And 8086 is a 16-bit processor as it is telling. Okay, good, that's one difference. So this is a different properties are there, 8085 and 8086 properties. Mm, so bus size is a 64-bit bus size. Address bus size is 16-bit and 20-bit. If you don't get this point, no problem, leave it. uh, Clock speed is a 3 megahertz speed, and this is a higher clock speed. Speed of the processor is high. Okay, if you don't understand what is duty cycles, leave it, no problem. This is the big one. So the first one is belongs to 8086, second one is belongs to 8085. Different flags are there. If you don't understand flags, just leave it. If you understand the flags, then go for it. Important, it's like what is the flag, what is this one. Flag is nothing but means while it is calculating how to do that one. So like how to put a zeros, how to put a plus sign, minus sign, zeros, carry forwards. Okay, that kind of stuff, how to handle it, how to handle a word. For example, this is a 8-bit, and if I want to give a data in a 16-bit, how to handle that one. Okay, and then here interrupts are traps and interrupts are introduced in 8086. Pipelining is not there. This is the pipelining is a very important property of 8086. One of the very important property is a pipelining. Because of this pipelining, nowadays we are getting core technology, means multi-core technology we are able to implement nowadays because of that pipelining. That's why it's 8086 architecture is very important. Memory segmentation support, so okay, leave that one. Transistors, each processor is built with the transistors. Okay, so here it is a lesser, this is a more transistors are there. And here another important one, accumulator based. Accumulator based, I will if you don't know, I will tell anyway what is accumulator based. Mm, Guys, important thing here is what we understand, that is important. What we don't understand, that is we'll see the next one. We'll see. If you don't understand, we'll see that one. But what you understand, compulsory, that is important. Only one processor is used. More than one processor is used. So additional processor means multiple processors we can able to add and we can use it. Memory size. It stores some memory. Cache memory is like a internal memory. It is a 4K kilobytes. This is a 1 MB, 1 MB size. Okay, memory size. Instructions, additions, subtractions, we can do it. No multiplication division in 8085. Multiplication divisions operations are there in 8085. Interrupt request support is there. Interrupts support is there. Okay, so these are important things. Again, we'll go. 8085 is a 8-bit processor, 16-bit processor, higher clock speed. The speed is a more than 8085. This is 3 megahertz. This is 5.8 to 10 megahertz operating speed. Okay, more flags are there, means more instructions in the side. Simple. Pipelining support is there, so then we can handle the uh, process with priority. Pipelining support is like starting, I told, right? Pipelining means priority. We can decide a priority of things. Okay, so that is important one. Number of transistors are very high compared to 8086. Accumulator base and general power per resistor, I will tell that one anyway. Okay, minimum maximum mode, so leave that one. Multi-processors possible, which is a only one single processor we can add it, but 8086 plus another 8086 plus another 8086 possible. Core technology is implemented from this pipelining also, so multi-core technology also adapted from 8086 only. Memory size is a 1 MB in a 8086. Interrupts can be handled, means so while process some other input we are given, it can able to handle. Okay, like that. Multiplications division support is also there in 8086. It is not there in 8085. That accumulator base means normally I will tell a program like um, move a comma 5 and add 3. What is this meaning? Anyone remember?
5 is moved to A and it will be added with 3, sir.
Very good. 5 is moving to A, means A is equal to 5, and add 3. Add a 3 to A. So 3 plus A is a result is 8. So this is accumulator base. A means accumulator. Only everything addition, subtractions we have to do based on accumulator only. So the language is assemble language, right? So if you are going to 8086, maybe like in a B comma 4, B is a register. A is also a register, B is also a register. That is accumulator. This is a general registers. Move um, C comma 6. Okay. Add B comma C. So what is that meaning? B is equal to 4, C is equal to 4. Add B plus C. Okay, like that we can able to do it. So non-accumulator base. Okay, so like that we can able. So this is the accumulator base general registry part. So multiple things we can able to do it. Multiple type of process we can able to handle. We can interrupt the process and then we can prioritize the process also. So 8085 is a sequential process thing. This is a random process, means anything you can pick up as a priority, so we can process it. Okay, I'm not very good at this one because you finished your engineering last year or before last year, but I finished my engineering in 2008. So I learned this thing in 2006 and 7. That time usually. Okay, so I don't remember much. I didn't touch that one again. Okay, so this is the 8085, 8086. Recent last 3 4 interviews continuously they are asking. So make sure that study once. If you understand, study twice. If you don't understand, ask me tomorrow again. What is your points, your things? Please tell me. Then we'll correct it. Okay. Uh, I think for today, this is a heavy for you. It is not a heavy. It is nothing. So guys, once we'll go through the today thing. I told about myself and other regulations kind of stuff. But important is introduction to hardware. Just a basic introduction I given, and I told about what is a CPU and CPU related things. What is a CPU? CPU speed. How to check the what is your CPU? Virtualization is there or not? RAM support is there or not? How much RAM support it is? What type of things? Okay, motherboard sockets. We discussed that one. Heat sink and heat related issues. We discussed it, and different type of Intel processor, AMD processors. Check the difference between Intel and AMD processors. Okay, and 8085, 8086 processor, that is also we discussed. Something we discussed, I forget. Features of 80, sorry, so 64-bit, 32-bit, that is the differences, features also we discussed. Um, we discuss about BSOD, interrupts and BSOD. That is a main thing we discussed about. Blue screen of death. Okay, so why we get a blue screen of death, IRQs, conflict, and all. Certain reason. One reason, mainly few reasons only out of few reasons. Some reasons like IRQ and IO conflicts. That is based only I told BSOD and save mode. I told, but I didn't tell system restoration. Definitely one day I will tell. Tomorrow, guys, already I forward a PPT. So PPT or no PPT. So find out what is RAM, ROM, differences, what is BIOS, what is UEFI, what is BIOS, what is UEFI, what is meaning of BIOS settings, okay, what is the RAM, what is the use of RAM. Already I told what is the use of RAM also, and what is RAM, what is ROM, what is the RAM and ROM differences. Find out what is the BIOS and what is UEFI, what is the meaning of BIOS settings. Okay, how to go to BIOS settings. Okay, this is for a tomorrow. You have to check it. You have to check it. Tomorrow I will take a morning at least one and a half hour. So I will finish this thing. Then we'll go to the networking. Okay. So in networking, I will tell what is the things you have to read it today. Read whatever we discussed. Go through once and go through these things also. And what is motherboard? What is a motherboard? What is SMPS? What is SMPS? Okay. These are all general, guys, so generally we should know it. That's why I'm telling. Okay, if you feel very bored because of this is a very small level classes and all, do not think like that. If you know, it's good. If you don't know, learn. That's very simple. What it is.